I'm Valerie Lefebvre from VL Buyers Agent. I work exclusively for buyers. Every week, I share real stories, practical tips, advice, and lessons learned that help overseas buyers navigate the property market in Catalonia so you can buy with confidence and avoid costly mistakes. So welcome to another episode with me. The biggest decision you have to make isn't about the house. It's where it's located. Where do you want to be? So you can renovate a property and you can negotiate the price, but you can't change where it's located. So location is very important because it's got to fit in with your lifestyle. People imagine how things are, but really there's quite a few things that I see are misconceptions. I like to tell people to first come and visit in person. It's really important. Don't just come for a long weekend. If you're looking for a pied-à-terre and you're, let's say, looking for a little apartment on the coast or in Barcelona, it's maybe not that important because you want it as a second home and you're going to come and spend, I don't know, maybe a week or a few weeks a year here. But if you're going to make a change in your lifestyle, means you're going to move here. And I have quite a few clients at the moment who are moving homes. They're coming from the US mostly, and they want to come and live here. In that case, I think you need to consider a lot more things. I would say come over, stay at least 5 to 7 days, see different areas. In Barcelona, you can do a neighborhood tour, wander around, have a look around, visit weekdays, weekends, go at night, go during the day, experience the traffic, see what parking's like. Maybe parking's not important to you and you're not going to get a car, so then it doesn't matter. But try out local cafes and supermarkets, walk the streets and get a feel for the place. The most important thing I would say is ask yourself questions. A golden rule I always tell people is, number one, decide what your must-haves are. What do you absolutely have to have? Maybe something related to the property or related to the neighborhood or the lifestyle that you want. Then what you would like to have would be the next category. That list is usually very small. One thing you can ask yourself, for instance, is, do you need to be able to walk everywhere? Are you going to buy a car and going to be driving around? Are you happy to commute by bike or by bus, public transport? That's one thing to consider. That's quite important, and it does definitely help select a neighborhood or a few neighborhoods. And again, depending where you want to be, if you're choosing a beach destination and you don't want to be commuting by bus, then you're going to look at something being 5 or 10-minute walk from the beach. In that case, we're looking at a different property and in a different price range as well, because everything that's close to the beach is going to be more expensive. So it really depends on, well, your budget, but also where you want to be. Do you mind hills, for instance? So if we look at Barcelona, there's a big mountain. There's a big difference being in the center of town where everything's walkable. Some neighborhoods have got quite steep uphills, so that's important. Do you want to be near restaurants? Do you want to have a pub culture? Do you want to be near expats or more towards local neighborhoods? Is the access to the airport important to you? So all those things are things that you can ask yourself. One very big one as well for relocation is schools. So we have a lot of families that come, and obviously the most important thing for them are schools. So when we're looking at schools, a lot of them are private schools. If you want to be near your child's school, that very much dictates the neighborhoods that you can be in or the towns that you can be in. And, people tend to go for those, which means that you will also be with other expat families who are looking at sending their kids to private schools too. Another way to get a little more of a feel, you can join local Facebook groups. So we have some Facebook groups for American expats or British expats, or maybe specific to areas, Costa Dorada, Costa Brava. There's quite a few different Facebook groups that you can join. And there you can see what people discuss. They'll discuss noise, fiestas, issues there may be in the area, local events, community life, schools, etc. So look out for some Facebook groups. That's a good one. Then another one is to watch YouTube videos. So we don't have tons of YouTube videos, but if you're looking for some advice, there are people that have put out YouTube videos about certain areas. They have a TikTok channel as well with different areas and things to do. Then you can also look at Google Street View. So it's not glamorous, but it's very useful. You could also look for Google reviews. That's another way. If you are looking for reviews on certain streets, restaurants, maybe you see a restaurant and you think, well, let me read a review on the restaurant or the pubs around the area. Or if it is a coastal place that you're looking at, you can read reviews about the beaches, the parks, the marinas, the shopping centers around there, local businesses. Then another important thing to look at is commuting times. You need to take into consideration things like traffic, the time that you're going to be traveling, if we've got peak hour or not. If you're going to be on the Costa Brava, for instance, weekends, people going up from Barcelona on a Friday and coming back down on a Sunday, heavy traffic. How far do you want to be from a train station? How far is the closest airport? Maybe you want to look at hospitals, depending on your situation, supermarkets, schools, etc. So those are all commuter times, and you can play around with that with Google Maps. Then the other thing that affects, especially when we're looking at beach holiday places, so second residences. People often think it's active year round. So we look at Costa Brava, for instance. So some towns are like bustling, July, August, September, even October. But then after that, November, December through to March or April, there's not much going on. So is that important to you or isn't it? Would you be grateful to not have a lot of people around? It means that you can have a place to yourself. Nature's super important to you. You want to be able to go hiking. We have a hiking trail all along the coast on Costa Brava, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's all along the edge of the coast. So a lot of people enjoy doing that, but they don't want to be on it with 200 people a day. Maybe in that case, you would prefer to come in the low season. If it's going to be your main residence, even more so. And maybe you can have a look at Meetup. Meetup.com has got some good groups of people who meet up for different activities. You may think, well, it's dead in winter. But then on Meetup, or I don't know, the local tennis club, or I don't know if you're a sailor, maybe in the marina, there's stuff going on. So there's different ways you can find information about the activities there are to do year round. I always tell people it's really important to think about your lifestyle. I have one client who bought in Barcelona. It's his first residence it was his first residence in Europe. He's now bought in Florence as a second home in Europe. And he has a lifestyle where he flies around a lot. He spends a few months a year in different places. And so he bought a place in Barcelona that was a pied-à-terre, really. It's a place where he stays for 2 or 3 months, he locks it up, he leaves. So it fits his lifestyle. And that's really important. What's important to him, for instance, is being able to go to the Barca games, traveling up and down the coast. He rents a car and he goes wherever he wants. He loves good restaurants. Barcelona is a great place. They love theater. So, they have all the cultural stuff that they want in Barcelona, and they can get out whenever they want to. So for him and his wife, this was a perfect fit, being in Barcelona. But it may not be for you. Maybe you prefer being by the sea. So consider what lifestyle you want. Do you want to go sailing? Do you want nightlife? Are you a golfing person? Do you want to have a cup of coffee, look out the sea every morning? Do you want to go hiking, cycling? Do you want peace and quiet? So what's important to you? I think once you start looking into this, people make different decisions. So you may start off with one idea, and then once you start sort of digging a bit deeper, you realize, actually, this isn't what I really wanted. So I have one client that has just bought on the Costa Brava. She had bought on the Costa del Sol, and she thought that was where she wanted to be. It's a second residence, so she's not going to live there permanently, but she does travel there quite frequently. What she found with the Costa del Sol is that it was just too crowded, and it was just mass tourism. That's what she explained to me. So she decided to sell her house there, and she's bought one on the Costa Brava. Of course, when she started explaining that she wanted something quaint, something that doesn't have mass tourism, that's got cliffs, sea views, but still walkable to a nice little village or town where she can have a typical Catalan lunch, etc. Once people go into those kind of details, it's very easy to narrow down the area and the town, in fact, especially on the Costa Brava, because the Costa Brava has got quite a few different areas. Once she explained that to me, it made things a lot easier. Then she said that she needed a tennis court or paddle court because they play a lot of tennis and paddle. So we did actually find a house that does have a tennis court. But the tennis court, it's in a residential area, so there's 10 houses in there and they can all use the court. She's going to come out on her own sometimes. So I said to her, why don't we go and have a look at the local tennis club? In between viewings, I drove her to the tennis club and I said, have a look at the facilities. So we had a look at it. She fell completely in love with the tennis club in this area of the Costa Brava. It looks amazing. It's got lovely courts, paddle courts, a gym, a restaurant and bar. It's got a swimming pool. So it's perfect for her. Also, we spoke to the people in reception, see how much it costs, see if there's any way they can help integrate into the community. And it was absolutely fantastic. You know, the outcome of speaking to these people in reception was great because they said, well, you come over here, we can assess your game, have a look at what your level is, and then suggest playing partners to you. And we can organize it. So it's a great way to integrate into the community as well. I think it's important when you're going to buy a place to really have it align with your lifestyle and what you like in life. It's going to put you in a happy place. That's what we want to do with finding you the right place. I'm not an estate agent that's got, let's say, 20 listings and I have to sell you one of those. I'm here to focus on you and what you want and what's going to be good for you based on what you share with me and what we have in Catalonia. So if you're still deciding where to buy in Catalonia, I'd be delighted to help. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. I'll be guiding you through the buying process step by step. See you next time.